Welcome to the Calcutta Races 2019-20, 5th day of the spring meeting, race preview on 25th of February, Tuesday. The first race of the afternoon is the Bold Chieftain Handicap, a Class 2 affair for horses to be run over a distance of 2000 meters to be ridden by jockeys of Indian nationality. The first runner we are looking at is number 1, Kaiden. Kaiden had 4 wins on a trot. Then in its last start, Kaiden was travelling in first spot as the horses took the turn, then was locked in a bitter battle with New Moon and just lost out by a head in the last ride. Next we are looking at 2 runners here. Number 2, Cold Frontier, who's had 6 starts already, placed in its 4th start in race number 87 over 1600 meters. Since then, in race number 110, the one we are looking at here, Cold Frontier was travelling in last spot, made some progress, finished on 4th. In the same race, we had number 4, Midnight Phantom, who was travelling 3rd all the way, finished on 3rd. The winner here was Jayavant. Number 3, Gold Bond, was a winner in its earlier start in race number 18 over 1600 meters. Since then, has been off board on each of his 4 starts. In its last start, Gold Bond was travelling in 4th spot as the horses took the turn. When asked for an effort, didn't have much to offer, fell back, finished 7th of 10 runners. The winner here was Valeria. Lastly, we are looking at number 5, SHARQI. SHARQI was a winner in race number 80 over 2400 meters. Then finished 2nd in his next start over 2000 meters in race number 105. And in its last start, SHARQI was travelling in 4th spot as the horses took the turn and then came up on the outside but finished on 5th of 6 runners. The winner here was Inca. We move on to the second race of the afternoon, the Tokaido Express Handicap, a Class 4 affair over 1600 meters. The first runner we are looking at is number 1, Silver King, who came down from Western India and was the back down favourite in its last start and went on a start to finish mission. But as the horses took the turn, Silver King fell back very rapidly, finished on 7th of 8 runners. In the same race, we had number 4, Super Normal, who was placed in its earlier start in race number 51 and race number 75. In this race, Super Normal finished on 6th of 8 runners. The winner here was Hootsin. Next up, we're looking at number 2, Artiste Royale, who was a winner in its last start. Artiste Royale earlier finished off the board in its 3 starts and then was the winner in couple of starts earlier on. And Artiste Royale in this race was travelling in 7th spot and practically looked out of the running. However, came up with a very late run and won that race in a very close finish from Popcorn, who finished on 3rd. Popcorn was also racing in the wrong end of the field, then came up with a late dash and almost challenged for the lead and fell short by about neck. And in the same race, we had number 6, Cool Conqueror, who was never in it, finished 5th of 8 runners. Number 5 is Elusive Wave. Elusive Wave has had 4 starts in this season. 4th in its earlier start in race number 59 over 2000 meters. And its last start, Elusive Wave was travelling in the front bunch as the horses took the turn, asked for an effort and didn't have much to offer, finished on 4th. The winner here was Classico. We move on to the third race of the afternoon, the Star Contender Handicap, a Class 5 affair over 1600 meters. The first runner we are looking at is Ashmita. Ashmita has had 5 starts in this season, was off board in its first 3 start. In its penultimate start, Ashmita was travelling in front and held on very readily in race number 102. In his last start, Ashmita tried a similar tactic, went on a start to finish mission over 2000 meters and fell back rapidly and finished on 8th of 9 runners. Next we have 4 runners. We are looking at number 2, Porus, who placed 2nd in his earlier start in race number 73. In its last start, Porus was travelling in 5th spot, then came up with a late bid and got the 2nd spot. In the same race, we have number 4, Last Judgment, who has been off board in its 5 start in this season, was a winner in its earlier start in the monsoon season. We also had number 6, Bambini Festa, who was the eventual winner, who travelled in 3rd spot, then came up with a late dash and surprised everyone by winning this race. In the same race, we had number 10, which is Winner's Delight, who placed 3rd in his earlier start and race number 103 here, finished on 7th. Next up, we're looking at number 3, Happy Returns, and Happy Returns has been very unfortunate in its last 2 starts. In its last start, Happy Returns was slow to begin and then challenged for the lead towards the inside, but the winner, Christiana, who was a repeat winner, came up wide on the wide outside and won that race by 3/4 of a length, and Happy Returns had to settle for 2nd spot, about 3/4 of a length from the winner. Number 5 is Abenaki. Abenaki has had 4 starts this season, has been off board in each of his 4 starts, and earlier in its monsoon start did finish 2nd in one of its starts. And over here, Abenaki was travelling in 6th spot when asked for an effort, didn't have much to offer, fell back and finished on 8th of 11 runners. The winner here was Sharavati. Next up, we're looking at number 8, Excelite. Excelite placed 3rd in his first 2 starts in race number 3 and race number 8. Since then has had 4 starts and has been off board on each of his 4 starts. Over here was travelling in last spot is Excelite, and when asked for an effort didn't have anything to offer, stayed in last spot, didn't make any impression in this race. Next we're looking at number 9, Bay Crush. Bay Crush has had 4 starts in this season and not much to write home about. First start finished on 11th of 14 runners, next start 10th of 14 runners, next start it was 9th of 14 runners. In his last start, Bay Crush was travelling in a forward position and then asked for an effort, fell back and finished on 5th of 12 runners, and the winner here was Pep Talk. We move on to the 4th race of the afternoon, the Amberetta Plate for 3-year-olds only over 1100 meters. The first runner we are looking at is number 1, Coach Jester. Coach Jester is a winner in his last start and was a winner on debut as well. And then when it went against the mighty Black Pearl, Coach Jester had nothing to offer in its next start. And then in its last start, Coach Jester was travelling in handy 2nd as the horses took the turn and absolutely blew the field away, won that race by 6 lengths. In the same race, we had Dothraki, who was at 3 starts without being on board in each of his 3 starts. Next, we are looking at number 2, Phoenicia Miss. Phoenicia Miss was placed 2nd behind Black Pearl in its earlier start in race number 69. Then finished 6th behind Black Pearl in his next start. In his last start, Phoenicia Miss went on a start-to-finish mission, and as the horses took the turn, Phoenicia Miss absolutely kicked away from the field, won that race by a widening margin of 6 lengths, beating Port of Spain, who finished on late 2nd. Number 3 is Santana. Santana was placed 5th in his first start to Silver Bracelet. In his last start, Santana went on a start-to-finish mission, was given a breather as the horses took the turn, and then again kicked on and won that race very readily from way to go. And Santana won that race by about a length and a quarter. We move on to the 5th race of the afternoon, the Kabuki Handicap, to be ridden by jockeys of Indian nationality, to be run over a distance of about 1400 meters. The first runner we are looking at is number 1, PELION. PELION was a winner in his previous season, in the winter season, over 1600 meters, and then PELION had about 3 mock races. Then in his last start, PELION went on a start-to-finish mission but didn't have much to offer, finished 10th of 10 runners. The winner here was Valeria. Next up, we are looking at 2 runners here. Number 2, Philadelphia. Philadelphia finished on 3rd in his last start after travelling in 2nd spot. At one point, Philadelphia did challenge for the lead. However, the winner, Sullivan, who came up with a late dash, won that race very close home, beat Philadelphia by a short neck. And in the same race, we had number 3, SANVI. SANVI was travelling in last spot as the horses took the turn, came up with a late bid and finished on 5th of 7 runners. Next, we have 2 runners again. Number 4, Rufus. Rufus has had 5 starts in this season. Its best start was his last start, where Rufus was travelling in the 11th spot, came up with a very late dash and finished on 4th, about 3 lengths from the winner, which was East Side. In the same race, we had number 7, Manzoni. Manzoni was 3rd in its earlier starts in race number 9 and race number 83, and this start Manzoni finished on 8th of 12 runners. Next up we are looking at number 5, Eastern Crown. Eastern Crown was the favourite in his last start, where Eastern Crown was travelling in 3rd spot as the horses took the turn, and then Eastern Crown didn't have an answer to Abhay Gama, who absolutely stole a march over him, and Eastern Crown finished on 2nd, about 6 lengths from the winner. Next up we are looking at number 6, Moskova. Moskova finished on 2nd in his last start. Earlier also placed in race number 17, race number 32, race number 49. So has been on board quite a few times is Moskova. In its last start, Moskova was travelling in 4th spot as the horses took the turn, and then Moskova actually took over the running towards the inside and was beaten close home by Bo Jangles, who won that race by about half a length. We move on to the 6th race of the afternoon, the feature event of the day, the Hyderabad Race Club Cup, a Class 1 affair over 1400 meters. We are looking at 6 runners first we have number 1, Star Stalingrad, who was earlier called Amazing Response, came down from Hyderabad. In its last start, was travelling in 7th spot, came up with a late dash and finished on 3rd. In the same race, we had number 2, Lincoln, who went on a start-to-finish mission, fell back very rapidly, finished 10th of 11 runners. We had number 3, Denny Crane, who was travelling towards the end of the field, finished on 9th of 11 runners. We had number 6, Purple Chill winning, who was a winner in earlier start in race number 78. In this start, Purple Chill winning finished on 5th. We had number 8, Castle Bridge, who has had 5 starts and was placed in race number 41. Since then has been off board in all of his starts. We also had number 9, Southpaw, who was travelling in 4th spot, weakened to finish on 8th of 11 runners. The winner here was Lesrill. Next we are looking at 3 runners here. Number 4, Capricious. Capricious finished on 4th in his last start, was winner in his earlier start over 1200 meters in race number 25. We have number 7, New Moon, who was winner in race number 87 on Derby Day. Then New Moon in his last start met with a lot of interference and didn't get the opening. Finished on 2nd. Number 11, which is Wave Rider, who finished on 3rd to Brahmachari. And then we had number 12, RIQUEWIHR. RIQUEWIHR was a winner in his first start in race number 35. In this race, RIQUEWIHR finished on 6th of 11 runners. And we also had number 14, Arjuna, who finished on 10th of 12 runners. The winner here was Brahmachari. Number 5 is Breeze of the South. Breeze of the South has had 5 starts in this season. Placed 4th in race number 34. Placed 4th in race number 87. And in this race, Breeze of the South was travelling in 7th spot. Came up towards the inside and looked good for a while. However, weakened to finish on 5th of 9 runners. The winner here was Arrowfield. Next we have number 10, Lord of the Sea. Lord of the Sea had a very impressive run in race number 70, where it finished on 2nd to Arrowfield and fell short by a neck. Since then has been off board in both of its start in race number 100 over 2000 meters, finished on 8th. In its last start in the Queen Elizabeth II Cup, where Lord of the Sea was travelling in 3rd spot, weakened to finish on 5th of 6 runners. The winner here was Point to Prove. Lastly, we are looking at number 13, Surf Romance. Surf Romance was a winner in his earlier start in race number 82. Placed in his first 3 starts, second, then finished on 5th in race number 106. In its last start, Surf Romance was the favourite. Was travelling in 5th spot, however, came up with a late dash, but the winner, Fortune Express, had already stolen the show by then. Fell short by 4 3/4 of a length. We move on to the 7th and last race of the day, the Saddle Up Handicap over 1200 meters. The first runner we are looking at is number 1, Stellar Nova. Stellar Nova has had quite a few starts in this season. Placed 4th in his first start in race number 20. Since then placed 2nd in race number 72. Placed 2nd in race number 79. Since then has been off board in its 2 starts. Where number 2, Tia Queen, was a runner in this race. And earlier, Tia Queen was a winner in race number 32. And in its last start, Tia Queen didn't make an impression, finished on 11th of 12 runners. And the winner here was East Side. Number 3, Exile, rather Tippy, was a winner in its first start in this season on race number 28 over 1600 meters. And since then has been off board in its 2 starts. In its last start, it was observed that exile had bled and was given on a veterinary ban. Number 4 is Diamond Harbour. Diamond Harbour has had 2 starts in this season, placed 6th in his first start in race number 24. In its last start, Diamond Harbour was racing in a forward position as the horses took the turn, and into the last 200 meters, Diamond Harbour weakened to finish on 5th. The winner here was Coconut. Next we are looking at number 5, Bang Bang. Bang Bang has been on board in its earlier starts. In race number 7 it finished on 3rd. In race number 28 it finished on 3rd. In race number 50 was the favourite and finished on 2nd. Since then Bang Bang has been off board in its 3 starts. In its last start Bang Bang was leading the way, however fell back and finished on 6th of 8 runners. The winner here was Artiste Royale. Number 6 is Expensive Affair. Expensive Affair has just had 1 start in race number 32, and where Expensive Affair was travelling in 12th spot as the horses took the turn, and there was nothing much to offer for Expensive Affair. Finished on 6th of 13 runners. The winner here was Tia Queen. We're looking at 3 runners here. Number 8, BACAARDI. BACAARDI was a winner in race number 49 over 1100 meters. Since then, BACAARDI placed 3rd in its next start in race number 72. Since then, has been off board in its couple of starts. And we had number 9, San Remo, who placed 3rd in this race and was 2nd in its penultimate start in race number 90. We also have number 10, Stelvio Pass, who finished on 11th of 13 runners. We had number 12, which is Night of Thunder, who was a winner in its earlier start in race number 90. In this race, Night of Thunder finished on 12th of 13 runners. The winner here was Advait. Number 13 is Davina Donatella. Davina Donatella finished on 3rd in his last start after having a lung opener in race number 7, where it finished on 11th. In his last start, Davina Donatella went on a start to finish mission, and there was a cavalry charge, and about 8 horses finished on together, and Davina Donatella finished on a very close 3rd to Artiste Royale. Lastly, we are looking at number 14, El Mulano. El Mulano placed 2nd in his first start in race number 8. Finished 2nd again in race number 29. Since then has been off board in his 3 starts. In his last start, El Mulano was travelling in 7th spot and made a late bid on the outside and finished on 5th to Guitar Girl, about 4.5 lengths from the winner. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. See you at the races tomorrow.